the most important segment where each of us are looking forward to which path to take when it comes to starting your Toastmasters journey. I myself belong to the old school of thoughts. And when I started my Toastmasters journey and I finished my DTM in the old cycle, I had some bit of an aversion towards pathways. I was not sure what pathways was, and I didn't want to get into it either. But that reluctance took away a few years of my life just because I was ignorantly innocent. But now I realize it could have been a different story had I chosen that path at that time. Never mind, it is always better late than never. Having chosen that last year, I'm so glad to say that I have finished 2 pathways already and I am into completing my 3rd and 4th very soon. What makes it so interesting? Sometimes what we push behind the back burner, thinking it is not my cup of tea, happens to be that antidote which gives you a lifetime change. And pathway was one such thing for me. Today, to take you through this path of pathways, what is it? Why should I go for it? What is good for me? What can I find something better in it? How will it help me? We have a very, very renowned Toastmaster with us, Toastmaster Anupama, who is a good friend of mine, though I must agree, she walked in while I walked out of Toastmasters in Qatar. She's the humor queen of Qatar. She's a DTM with many years of experience in the field of public speaking and personality development. She was the Qatar Talks champion in the humorous speech category, if I'm not mistaken, for 3 consecutive years. All of us find it difficult to give one humorous speech, but she was a champion thrice. She's a proud recipient like me of the Best Area Director Award, Dynamic Toastmaster of the Year Award, and a Super Area Award. She's also a President Distinguished Division Director in the year 21-22. Being a homemaker, if somebody has to have so many accolades to your credit, I am sure it is nothing but dedication, determination, and that desire to give your best. She doesn't stop there. She has gone further to be a coordinator for many a YLP in Qatar. YLP is the Youth Leadership Programs. She's currently working on a pilot project with APNRTS, that is Andhra Pradesh Non-Resident Group, is it? Yes, to empower the underprivileged children with their leadership and communication skills. This was an eye-opener for me. Why? Because we also being a coordinator of many a YLP and Speechcraft, our focus is always on schools and colleges and our own children and friends and whatnot. Nobody ever thought of underprivileged children. Who says they do not have a right for communication and leadership skills? Kudos to you, Anupama. That is really very credible. She loves to work with children because she truly believes they are the future. Very true. And she also follows the motto, smile and the world smiles at you. If in ICC Eve's Toastmasters, if it is silent, then you know that Anupama is absent, which is seldom happens. But if she is there, then you will know from the ground floor that ICC Eve's Toastmasters is open. That is why, because the excitement of doing the best at what you are good at. Anupama, I know you are good at the pathways. This is the second time I have invited you to give us a session. So it is my pleasure now to hand over the virtual stage to you. Please take us through the path of pathways and enlighten all of us to make our life much easier. All over to you, Anupama.
Thank you so much, Vijaya ma'am. We refer to you as ma'am because it's not only the age, but of course the amazing pathway you had shown to ICC Eves, and we are all the product of that amazing club. Thank you very much for that introduction. Now, you told that, it's because of me that there is a lot of noise. That means you're telling to the world that I'm a talkative person as well as loud. So yes, I'm taking as a compliment there, definitely. But a very good evening to all the counterparts who has joined me from India, and good afternoon to all the people from Middle East. Absolutely a delightful for me to relate to a group which I truly and honestly believe that we are the pathfinders. Toastmasters have a lot of opportunities, and we are all part of this fraternity because it evolves and of course defines us in many ways. So salutations to each one of you. Thank you for joining me today. So let's begin with pathways. Okay, so just can in the show of hands, all of you are enrolled in pathways, right? Just raise your hands and I should be able to know that. Yes. Okay, so whoever are there, thank you very much. Jaya Bhardwaj says you have said it. Yes, Priya, thank you. So yes, all of you have enrolled in pathways. So that taken care. You all want to know what exactly is pathways all about. Let me start by the definition of pathways. I trust Google has a lot of definitions, but when I Google this word called pathways, it just gives one line. I'll just read out that line for you. It's a way of achieving a specific result, a course of action, and that exactly is what our pathways of Toastmasters relates to. It is a course of action which each one of us takes to define our way of thinking and our way of learning. Now, I have been a DTM in the old path as well, and of course in pathways as well. So, when I compare personally the DTM in both these old school thought and the present pathways, what I feel is that pathways is the new energy. And definitely I learned a lot with the new system. And let's just see how am I going to give you all what I have learned. Now, just going through that, of course I have a presentation in place here, and each slide will definitely give you a lot of insight. But any questions and queries, we will stop right then and there. I don't want to take the questions at the end. You can raise your hands or you can just interrupt me in between. I'll stop and we will take the questions then and there. So please get ready to concentrate and let me know and challenge me with your questions. I'll just start the sharing the screen here. Okay, everybody can see my screen. If yes, then a thumbs up. Yes, thank you. Yes. So what is this sentence called path to pathways? I loved that frame of that, phrase, path to pathways. Now, this is a small path I have created for all of you today to find your pathways destination. Let's go with the second slide. Absolutely. This is an overview. Like what exactly, pathways program is all about. In the second segment, we'll be getting how to get started and how to elevate yourself through the 5 levels of pathways in each path. Then we will have a very important discussion called base camp manager role, because I feel that base camp manager, who is generally the VPE, actually defines each and every person in the group. So if any VPE is in the group, get ready. This is going to be an insight for all of you. Then we'll talk about pathways resources. Mostly and generally what happens is that the resources of Toastmasters is negated. Most of us, we don't have the time or the energy to go into the resources and find out what exactly. But let me tell you, each and every question can be answered in your resources. So that's one of the reasons why I have chosen this. And let me also tell you, there is a Toastmaster DTM Kenneth role from District 141. Actually, this particular presentation is inspired by him. I have taken it online. So anybody who knows him, please convey that it has helped me a lot to, define the presentation. Now, the first one is overview to pathways. Now, why I did not put it in the slideshow is that generally I prefer to see the slides, what is coming, so that, it prepares me for the next round. That's one of the reasons I'm not putting it in slideshow. Anybody is distracted with it, please let me know. I'll try to manage this. Okay. So overview of pathways. The pathways, what pathways? I'll tell you, the Toastmasters learning itself has a 5 core competences. Of course, we add value to each one of us, defined in our own sense of perception and understanding. But these are the 5 major competences. Okay, public speaking, definitely. Interpersonal personal communication, strategic leadership, leading and managing, and building confidence. Now, there is a small question here. If anybody wants to answer this, what is that interpersonal communication we are relating to? Anybody can answer me in just a line. Swapnil, you want to take it? What is, and exactly what do you mean by an interpersonal relationship or a communication? Anybody? Okay, let me just give you a small understanding. I'm a homemaker. Absolutely. And what do you think does this pathways has helped me? Do you think that it will only help the interpersonal communication in the professional sort of a way? No. This Toastmasters program is such a beautiful program that it helps any individual, any corner, whether it is a homemaker or a teacher or a low grade employee or a high grade employee, whoever it is. This interpersonal, person to person communication actually evolves in this, Toastmasters learning. So this is the second very important core competency, which only Toastmasters International boasts about. No other public speaking forum in the world has this particular added advantage. That's my opinion. Now, there is, of course, these are the 5 major competencies. Now, when we go into the pathways, I know most of you must know this, the 11 paths what we have. Till last year, we had only 10, but this engaging humor is one thing which has been added this year. So last year. So why engaging humor? Because humor, a lot of people love to work with humor. And when this was announced, I was the most happiest person, because generally I believe humor brings a lot of energy to any group. So this particular thing improves 2 competences, your public speaking skills, and your 5th, that is a strategic leadership. Now, what happens in these 11 parts is, we have, according to the titles, you can see the titles here, dynamic leadership, it's something related to leadership. It tells you in a one phrase. Effective coaching, if you are a coach or you want to aspire to coach people, then this will affect you. Humor, innovative planning, how to plan things, leadership development, how to develop your leadership skills, motivational strategies. Of course, it's a fantastic thing. Personally, I did one of my parts in motivational strategies. Actually, this always helps you to understand how to motivate people to take things forward, and why and how I'll just follow up in the later slides. Now, persuasive influence, very important factor, how to influence people. Presentation mastery is all about working through your skills as a presentation, as well as how, which defines you. Like today, when I said that, I don't want to work on the slideshow, it gives me the freedom not to work with the slideshow. So presentation mastery also gives you an insight of how to do your projects using not only PPT, but overall presentation strategies. Now, strategic relationship is again a very important interpersonal in whether it is in your office or home. The projects are very interesting in the level 4 and level 5. Now, team collaboration, work with your team. Visionary communication, how to look forward to what is the next step for understanding the communication skills on the next level, that is visionary communication. Now, let me tell you one thing. All have 5 levels. All the 11 paths have only 5 levels. Each path has 5 levels. Now, there is a difference here in the level 1. Last year, there has been a substantial change in the level 1. This was an old slide. I didn't change it, but I'll get back to you on this. Now, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. Now, when you see the slide, you can see the defining aspects of the level. Level 1 is all about mastering your fundamentals. Okay. Level 2 is all about learning your style. And this is where you will enjoy the most. Because I never thought what exactly is what kind of a leader I am, or what kind of a communicator I am. But when I did this level 2, it helped me to define myself in a more profound manner. Trust me, if you go into the main aspect of your pathways and you enter that base camp, every sentence or every slide they take you through the project helps So please take time to learn about this particular style, because here at level 2, and these two aspects of communication and leadership which is the main competency of your work with Toastmasters, this will help you. Now level 3 is all about increasing knowledge. Of course, this is a midway through, okay, because it will, this is a crossover between the fundamentals and the senior projects. Now this level 3, of course, we have research and presentation, which was previously in level 1. Again, I'll be following that up in the next slides. It has followed it to level 3. Now this is increasing knowledge. I love that term, increasing knowledge, because you're shifting and substantially moving to a senior project. It is increasing your knowledge. Now level 4 is building your absolutely required skills. Here the elective projects are very important, and you get a choice of more than 4 to 5 different aspects, and which core competency or which exactly aspect you want to build through. This is the building skills. Now level 5 is demonstrating your expertise. What you have learned through all the level 4s can be given here. Now basically, moving on to the next slide, as I was talking about core competencies, just a minute. 2895, thank you. So moving along with paths and core competencies, dynamic leadership will give you the first 3 more. That is public speaking, interpersonal communication, and strategic leadership. Now, when you look at the slide, it is self-explanatory. Right now, if Bhardwaj sir wants to take up and what kind of a project or what kind of a path I should choose, if you look at this slide, it is clear. What do you want to improve? Whether you want to improve your management skills, then check for the path which has 4 as a point present. Now, if you want to increase your strategic leadership, check for the path which has 3 mentioned there. So it's very, very easy and self-explanatory. One thing which is very common in all the paths is public speaking and confidence. We are all here because of that, right? So these 2 are the important things which is present everywhere, but the rest changes because it depends on what you want to take. Now, when you are going into the depth of knowledge, here comes the, as I said, 5 different levels. And here it gives you an insight of what sort of a learning you can expect from each level. Okay, now very quickly, mastering fundamentals. The first project is icebreaker. We all know what is an icebreaker. You just break your ice and you understand that you tell about yourself. So this is a common factor which even the old school of thought had, and today every new school of thought has. Now, the important aspect of an icebreaker when you go into your specific path is you will be able to create icebreaker according to that planning you have. If you are a person who wants to not give out any personal information about yourself, you can talk about anything which reflects your way of living. That also is an icebreaker. It need not be a chronological order where you were born, what you have done, all that. It can be anything relating to your passion, because one of a very, very wonderful icebreaker came from a small child of 16 years who had given it on how his passion for karate developed. That was his icebreaker, and it was an awesome icebreaker. So icebreaker can be definitely anything you want to give to the audience, what you like and your dislikes and about yourself. Now, this is the new development which happened last year when they moved the level 1, writing a speech with purpose. This has 2 speeches. One is before the mentoring, and the second after you have given it on the evaluator tips, you give the speech again. Okay, so this is the writing a speech with purpose. Now, introduction to vocal variety and body language. This is the 3rd speech you need to work with. Vocal variety and body language are the main things which attract audience. Every time you come in front of the audience, if you want to really capture the audience, what happens with your gestures? How should you relate to them? How should you look at them and talk? All that happens here. So and there is a vivid description of how to go about it in your base camp. So when you go to the project, take time to watch that 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, videos which are present there. When a lady comes onto the screen and tells you what the project is all about, please do take time to watch it, because they have such wonderful words to give you. It will elevate your speech to that next level. So don't hesitate. Take your time. Pathways is all about not a DTM only. It's pathways is about elevating yourself from point A to point B as a leader and a communicator. So take time, relax, go to every corner of understanding and then do the project. That's a sincere advice. Don't rush through it. So here is about, vocal variety and body language. Now, here evaluation and feedback, these two, the concept of evaluation and feedback are very important in Toastmasters. Evaluation, how to evaluate your speech as well as other speech, definitely a forte and 5-star what do you say word for Toastmasters fraternity, because without evaluation we go nowhere. So that is evaluation. And then feedback, how to take the feedback in a positive manner. See, there are two types of feedback you get. Either you get a feedback where you are totally elevated to the next level, or you get a feedback where it is constructive criticism. So how to enjoy that feedback and try to bring it to the next level, you have to understand here. Now this previously research and present, that's the reason I marked it in red. Previously researching and presenting was there in the level 1, but now this particular aspect has been moved to level 3, because it involves either a PPT or some sort of a presenting skills, and that is that midway where you get confidence to present it to the world. I think that is probably why they moved it. And these are the 4 different projects you have to do in level 1 with 5 speeches. Now we move to any doubts as of now? I'm absolutely, please don't hesitate. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Bhardwaj sir. I can see you on the screen for giving that a thumbs up. Just a minute, everyone. Okay. Level 2 is learning your style. Here, actually, Toastmasters mentoring program and introduction of 3 projects, you have to take it up from here. This is what I have been talking about. Understanding your leadership style. When that phrase came, when for the first time when I read about this project, I was thinking, what exactly is this making me understand about my leadership style and making me understand about my communication style? But when you read through the write-up and I watched that video, actually this is a wonderful concept. In the previous that old school of thought, we never understood what exactly was our leadership style, whether we were assertive leader or whether we were the dynamic leader who can take everyone along with us and work. This understanding of varied leadership styles are present here. And when you watch the video, you have 5 to 6 leadership styles you will be exploring, and then placing you as an individual in one of the corners, and then developing this particular leadership style with an anecdote of how you came into the power of understanding. So this, please don't hesitate. This is a wonderful project, but only thing my sincere advice would be, when you are defining your leadership style, do go through other information possibility in Google or anywhere your search engine, because this leadership style is very different styles in the world. But in Toastmasters, they have summed it up and brought it down to about 3 to 4 categories, and you have to choose one and maybe define accordingly. Of course, it does not lay out anywhere that you cannot give your presentation or speech from the world, but you can definitely work with this. So please understand your leadership style, and your project is all about that. Now, when you are coming to your communication style, again, this is because one thing which happened to me was, when I was doing this project, is that I'm a loudspeaker, and I bring in a lot of vividity in my actions. Like I'm a person who explores body language more with vocal variety. I believe in that. But when you have, there are speakers who need not be that. There are speakers who are subtle speakers, who doesn't like to move around much, but look into the eye and just say what they have to say. And definitely that is their own communication style. So every one of us is different. So when you do this project, you really understand that, you have to give that sense of respect to the people who are a little bit different from you. And that helped me to, evolve as an understanding in my communication style. So this is a second project. Now, there are, of course, a choice of projects which will come with connect with your audience, how to manage your time, active listening, and cross cultural understanding. These are the 4 minimum things which you have there. So these are 3 projects are involved in level 2, leadership's communication style. And of course, you have a choice here. So please go ahead and explore that in your particular path. Now, when you come to level 3, here is a transition where no longer you are in the fundamentals, where you have to, come across and find yourself in the whole concept of understanding in a much bigger level. Now, see, these are the terms which are there. Negotiate the best outcome. The specific, this is increasing knowledge. How to present a proposal, emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, your connections through networking. These are few of the examples which are present here, where you have to take 2 electives. The choice is there, vast range of choice. So when these choices are present, we tend to get confused. So what I would suggest, if you have a choice of 8 from which you want to work with, just go across, frame your speech with a little anecdote, what you want to tell. Like I had a presentation, I had proposal to my grandmother who had actually finished her 80th birthday, and I wanted the whole family to come on Zoom because this was during the COVID times. So I wanted to bring her onto Zoom and have an interaction with my family of 70 members. So see, that is what I think out of the box. This proposal need not be a proposal you are putting across to a chairman or professionally. I put a proposal across to the family and my grandmother that let's celebrate it online. And my whole speech of 7 minutes was on that, how I put the proposal across, what was the reaction from different relatives, and how we finally went on to achieve which was unthinkable, like 70 people, 70 relatives joining from more than 7 different countries and coming together. It was a very humongous task involved, but finally it came through. So this was my proposal, what I did to make it very interesting, and this was one of the best projects. In fact, I'm very proud of it. So these kind of things you can increasing your knowledge, you can really experiment with. And then I had make connections through networking. I had done my second project on that. Because networking is something which I totally believe in, and Toastmasters give you a humongous platform. And again, I took the advantage of COVID because I came across like Vijaya ma'am. It was never possible for us to connect on in person, but we connected on Zoom a lot. So networking can be done in any way you can. So make your projects interesting. That's what I'm getting to that. Don't make it that monotonous style of giving something, finish it up, kuch ho gaya, kar liya. But then you sit, watch, work through your project in such a way that your 2 electives are an exciting thing for you. You should come forward with that excitement. So these are the basic things you'll have it in level 3. Now when you come to level 4, you have building skills. Now you have established who you are, you have established your communication style, you have established your leadership style. You also know how to do the basic factor of how to involve your knowledge and thinking skills. Now this is building it skills. Here the projects are a little bit because these projects involve working with your team, working with your excom, and there are many things. Suppose something like leading in difficult situations. This is a very interesting project because you can get to interrupt the speaker. Like if I'm giving a project and the difficult audience and difficult situations where we give the choice to the club members to interrupt us in between. That's one of the that way you will get trained not to lose your train of thought, and connect with the audience in that manner. So please do explore this, because these 2 are very, very active, and it gives you a lot of insight to connect with your club members as well. So leading in different situations. Now this involves a lot of planning. Level 4, according to the term which describes as building skills, is all about involving yourself with your club members, with your excom, with your friends, and then delivering that project. So here a little bit collaboration is required. So in the, and that too in all the level, or I mean say in all the 11 paths. We have 11 paths. In all the 11 paths, this is a common thing. So when you are doing a particular path, suppose I did effective coaching, when you're doing in that, you can develop according to the term, you can develop all these projects according to what that path defines you. The titles are the same, but you can definitely take it a little bit with your path. Suppose it is leadership development, then do something which creates you as a leader. The effective coaching, do something which pertains and puts you across as a coach. So these are the where you are building that particular skill, why you have chosen that path. So this is what is all about. Now this involves sometimes your base camp manager has to be active enough to made aware, especially base camp manager generally is the VPE, or then of course the secretary or the president comes in. But when they are involved in this, what happens is that first you come together as a team, and then this makes it a very bit interesting when you have a team with you. You are thinking about it, you are developing the project accordingly. So all this happens only when you come together as a team. And there is something called manage project successfully. This is an example I'm giving. We had a workshop as a division director, we had a workshop every month. So when we had done these workshops, I had given the opportunity to a Toastmaster called Kamakshi. She's from Tamil Nadu, and she had in fact taken the lead and arranged the first workshop for me. And that way she had, that was a project which she took in this sector level 4 and did that project. So this is the reason why I'm telling you, go contact your area directors, contact your division directors, pester them. Until and unless you go and shake them up, you will not get these opportunities. You can definitely take it as a project, and I'm sure it's a service oriented association, and I'm sure the division director and area directors will give you the opportunity. Suppose today's workshop, whatever you have arranged as path to pathways, if somebody has taken a lead, you can take the credit for this. You make sure that you're evaluated by an evaluator, that evaluator is present in that, and you can deliver it. So make it big. Think big. Here, when you are building your skills, until and unless you think out of the box and challenge yourself, you will not build your skills to that next level. So this is a small example which I wanted to tell you. Now, these are the level 4 projects. You have one elective plus and one of the projects you have to taken from here. Now, this is the pinnacle of any level. That is where you are demonstrating whatever you have learned. Now, again, it can be done simply. You do a project, kuch bhi kar diya, come 5 to 7 minute speech and finish it. But then where is the expertise? Anybody can do that, right? Now you have to challenge. If you think that I can think out of the box, here I had actually this was a managed successful event. And we, especially from the district you are, actually Pune, which is the center, you have so many events happening around. So take the lead in one of the events. And one of the, a college going CNAQ here in Qatar, there was one girl called Zainab. She had done an event where she had conducted an open house for CNAQ Toastmasters Club in her fair, the college fair which happened. And she had taken that as one of the projects here. And how she had developed a team, and she had put across a wonderful PPT presentation. How did she develop the team and whether that particular effort was successful or not. And she had got 18 new members by that open house to that club, 18, 1-8. And that was such a successful event. So when she put across this led to an example to so many people that we can do it. Even event management is something which you will learn. Today, I can manage an event who can, whole event of more than 100 people online without any phase. Why? Because, I have done about 5 to 6 projects involving all the drama, which from the, conception to the delivery point. And especially delivery involves whether your thought behind that event was successful or not. So this is the way you can manage that expertise. Take a challenge, because I think probably everybody needs to be self-satisfied. If you can, and simple, it can be done simply also, but Personally, I would say that. And here, when you come to something called prepare to speak professionally, here we had trained a keynote person, a very laid back bank employee who was not a very good Toastmaster, in the sense that he was not an interested candidate in Toastmastering, but he had given a keynote address in his bank. And when that happened, he contacted us due to something else. And finally, this speech was evaluated by one of the evaluators who was present in that, and when that keynote address was given. So see how we can link with the normal phase. The amazing thing about Toastmasters, and of course pathway, especially to everyone who is listening to me, your life can be brought into this. You can give any project under the sky. If you are making a nice cup of coffee and presenting it to your wife or a husband, you want to give that as a project, you can do it dramatically. You can explain it in such a beautiful way that that's a small project you have given. Because you are a cook, you are cooking for 10 people, and want to give a project. What you have done, that itself is a project for you. So bring your real life experiences into pathways, because that way pathways is very beautiful. That way you are connecting your personal life to the world, as well as networking through all the delegation of the work you do. So please go ahead, and this is the expertise you generally display. Leading in your voluntary organization, any volunteer, like I am associated with one of the organizations called APNRTS. So I had actually, I have worked with that organization for 6 months. So when I worked with 6 months, I have a report to present. So how I led that organization in the concept of accepting that public speaking can be brought to the underprivileged kids also, itself has led me to give this project. So that was a beautiful experience. So bring in all your personal life onto the pathways, and definitely I think probably you'll be the expertised Toastmaster what you're looking through in this level 5. I'll just take a small break here, and I would before we move to the next round, I just would stop the share. Any questions? Because I just love to hear from the people. Please bring in questions if you have anything. I would love to answer all of you. No questions? Yes, Bhardwaj sir, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think if I have to take second pathway, is it
Okay.
that I have to go with the level 1 and level 2 again, the second pathway, or I
Yes,
can go
yes, sir. Yes. Every
icebreaker speech?
Yes, that is the reason why. Okay, now let me just give you a little bit insight on that. Every path has 5 levels. Every path, whether you have done path 1 in strategic planning, and the second path you have taken. This is an example I'm giving you. You're doing a strategic, effective coaching. 2 different paths. Each path will start with an icebreaker. Each path will have all the 5 things, elements. Now, this is where your expertise. Now, you have given an icebreaker, first icebreaker with a chronological order. I'm born here, brought up here, my parents, my family, my job, and my married life, my family as of now. So if you have done that path, that icebreaker, the second icebreaker is where you experiment. Where if you're having a hobby, one of the person had actually is a Syrian Toastmaster. He had brought in a lot of expertise on becoming a pilot. He was getting trained in pilot. So his passion for the flights, and so he brought in that concept. So that's especially who are listening to me. If you have that leeway of the second path and the second icebreaker, make it interesting, make it something dramatic, and you can bring in your own way, like cooking. You are not interested in cooking, but you learned cooking, and that you want to bring it as one of the icebreakers. You can definitely do that. So yes, 5 paths you have to start from. The second path has to be started from that icebreaker. Yes, Bhardwaj sir. Anything else?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone? Okay, then I'll just go back to a small thing. Vijaya ma'am, as of now, are you okay? If you need anything, let me know. I can expand on that. Thank you. Yeah. So going back to the presentation, we have what are the benefits? That's the first question anybody will have. Of course, we know this. You Google and you'll find every little tidbit I have written here. Tailored and self-paced programming, customizes, flexibility, great access to materials, expanded resources, real world applicability, give and receive effective, meaningful evaluations. Now, having said this, what I would say with my experience with 3 paths is that it will make you a total, completely commendable and a confident speaker, first of all. Second thing, what it will help you is how to conduct something, how to conduct an event, how to conduct a program, how to conduct a meeting. Even a simple club meeting involves a lot of effort. You all know that. It is not easy to, get role players. It is not easy to get an excitement among the members to come and attend that meeting. It's not easy. Every club meeting is a challenge. So how to make it interesting? When you are doing these pathways, that one benefit you will have is that you will think ahead. You will think how to elevate this, how to do this to that next level. By the time you finish your first path, you will absolutely be a different Toastmaster if you are giving it a little bit head start by listening to the videos, by going into that, the whole description about the project, by going into that questions which need to be answered. Every path, every project you do, you have 5 to 7 questions to answer before, like your level. You remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be written. You have to mark yourself which level you are. So after some time, I thought, why are they giving this to every project? But when you go into the detail knowledge about that question they are asking you, are you an effective communicator? How do you rate yourself? Every time, I'm an effective communicator, there is no doubt. In 7 years in Toastmasters, definitely I know what to say. But every time you get that question, you think a lot. Okay, did I move from that point 3 to 4, or did I move from 4 to 5? And you won't believe, I can never mark myself as 5. I'm not confident enough. I can never mark myself as 5, because that is what I'm telling you. When you question each sentence, you know that no, there is a little bit I can improve. There is something which I can do the next. So that is the benefit of pathways. Pathways, actually, what happens is that when you are doing 5 levels in each part, the 5 different concepts you're improving, and more than 300 thought process get into it. If you really mark that 300, I'll make sure that particular slide I presented to Vijaya ma'am, and she can pass it on to your division. But 300 competencies can be improved. As simple as connecting to the audience, to not taking a break in a presentation. I once froze, avid speaker, champion speaker. Having said that, when I was introduced to one of the, when we had a DTAC program, and when I was introduced to the senior members from US who had come in, Richard Peck, and these are the very prominent people of Toastmasters fraternity. When they came, that apprehension which I felt to give a handshake and say hi, that means I am still not prepared to face the world in that confident manner. So I can never mark myself as 5. You are not confident, you can never do that. So when you are questioning yourself, that sentence of questioning yourself is a benefit. That's a benefit, because you are asking whether I am truly there where I can mark myself as 5. So benefits of pathways is multifolded. Having all these amazing things on your screen, it evolves you as a speaker. It evolves you as a communicator. Today, when I am remodeling my house in Vishakhapatnam, okay, it's a very simple thing. Now, to connect the dots, I am doing the whole project of remodeling my house in my way. And to understand the construction of remodeling, I had to understand what exactly is a brick, what exactly is a tile, what exactly is a quartz material, or Korean material. All this have to be brought. And today, when I'm able to do it, I'm telling you, it's only because that I joined this fraternity, and Toastmasters helped me through that. So it changes lives. So benefit of pathways, multifolded. You have to find how it is going to help you. So your intake here is the next best thing happening with pathway. Now, again, before I move on to the base camp and our understanding of all these 5 different aspects, like how to give your evaluations and all, any questions, please raise your hands. Okay. Now this slide, when you look into this slide, it's very important. This is a sample of any project you do. You have a navigation, you have introduction, you have assignment, You're assessing your skills before, you're assessing your skills last at after the project. And then you have video navigation, which I was talking about, very important. You and your goals, prepare and present after your speech, review, and your evaluation. Now, when you look at this, don't you think pathways is such beautiful conceptualized idea that through this, by the time you have done the project, all this you have to answer for yourself. People rush. But here I would say, how you enjoy pathways. Are yaar, pathways, my God, Anupama, I'm not able to get it. Yes, you are not able to get it, but take time, sit with it. Just, make your cup of coffee, sit in the corner and each how to navigate it. There is a material available, how to do the introduction about that particular speech. Here, just a simple example is I have given for icebreaker, but this is there for every project you do. So please take time to go through it. And the concept when you come here, you and your goals. You is none other than Bhardwaj sir, Vijaya Monterio, Swapnil, and Anupama Kasi Bhatla. You is you. And what are your goals in that project? Where do you want to see yourself from point 1 to point 2? See, some people have an ideology that if I speak in front of 10 people without any break, I am good to go. Some people are very hesitant even to talk in front of 10 people. But some people, no, I want to give a speech in front of 200 people and make them laugh and gaga over the speech. Yes, targets sabke alag hai. Everyone has different set of targets and goals to achieve. So define your goals. It's very important. So here, when you are going through one project, you have more than 12 to 13 aspects you will go through before you sign off that project. That is pathways. And next time when you get to assess yourself before and after, you'll do the whole transition. And trust me, when you follow this to that hilt, when you are assessing yourself, you'll smile. Chalo, I moved from point 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and finally, maybe next project I'll go for 5. So that is all about this particular pathways. Now, going to the Basecamp, especially, you have Basecamp versus printed materials. But here, why I have given this particular slide in a more detailed manner is very important is that Basecamp is good, according to me, than printed materials. Of course, old school of thought believes everything in hand. They want everything in hand, touch, feel. But I think nowadays we are all moving to online. And we have the online system with the mobiles everywhere can be accessed through this Basecamp. Now, this gives us the leeway to access it online. Now, how many of you have taken that assessment test? If you have taken that assessment test before choosing, yes, okay, I can see one hand. So yes, pathways assessment test, when you do that assessment test, that itself will show where you are and where you want to go. So that is why I have put it in green, because very important is that once in a while, go and do your assessment. And after you have done two levels, when you go to assess yourself, trust me, your whole assessment changes, because now you know more about yourself and your goals. And of course, here it is not 10. This was an old thing, but we have 11 paths now. Now, very important is this educational videos, which I keep on mentioning. Why I'm mentioning it 10, 15 times is that because they matter, my dear friends. The videos which they are very important videos to watch. So, and that is the most crafted thing Toastmasters fraternity has given us, free, especially for the first path, when you are a member, right? Now, complete interactive activities and quizzes, yes, it helps because it's fun. Make it fun, like, right? You cannot be a serious speaker all the time. If you want to have fun, try every puzzle available and you will get a lot of interesting thoughts there. Now, this is downloaded and upload the electronic copies of your speech. Of course, this all can be done. So these are the main advantages of having a Basecamp at your disposal. Now, question coming to before that, if anybody has questions, don't hesitate to question me, because I'm moving ahead with distinguished Toastmaster, why it is required and how. And these two slides are very important because somewhere in the net I found these to elevate the understanding of pathways to another level. Okay, so everybody, if you're listening, please hold your thoughts. If you're not listening, come back to presentation and please put a thought here for the coming 5 minutes. We have in education category to become a distinguished Toastmaster. It's a much coveted title. And why, let me start by saying, why should you become a distinguished Toastmaster? Does it prove anything to anybody else? No, it doesn't. It doesn't prove, it doesn't give any added value. Trust me. But what happens is that when you are referred to as the distinguished Toastmaster, Anupama Kasi Bhatla, distinguished Toastmaster, Vijaya Montero, that distinguished status elevates you a little bit from the other Toastmasters. And that is the hard work you have done. Because it's not easy to give a project. Even a simple icebreaker, 5 to 7 minutes, requires a lot of thought and analysis. You can just come and give it. But when you are doing such a lot of hard work, distinguished Toastmaster, when you're referred to that, your hard work speaks there. And when you are referred to as, for the first time when I heard, hey, Anupama Kasi Bhatla, you walked in as a distinguished Toastmaster today through the meeting by our president, it felt so good. Because that was my 2 years of hard work, 2.5 years of hard work. And that is why I'm telling you, when you are joining as a member, your journey begins. And your journey when your BPE submits your DTM award. And this is the process you go through. Now, when you join in as a member, the education part, you have 2 parts to cover. And of course, there is one exclusive project you have to do as a distinguished Toastmaster project. Okay. See, this is self-paced idea. And self-paced, I like that term because you want to do it, you do it. You want to take a break, you can take a break. Do at your own pace. Path 1, path 2, and distinguished Toastmaster project. Now, a lot of questions on that area where distinguished Toastmaster project, shall we do it during, after, before, what? Okay. Suppose Bhardwaj sir, you are doing your level 1, I mean path 1. And you got a wonderful opportunity to conduct a small program which you want to do it, and totally, I suppose it's a anniversary, 25th wedding anniversary of your parents, and you want to do it in a style, and you are taking all your family members help, and you're printing the invitations. It's a project, right? You'll agree it's a project. You have to start and end at one point, and that's a project. That is your distinguished Toastmaster project. Now, many questions. Oh, can we take that also? Yes, you can take anything as your distinguished program. I mean, distinguished Toastmaster project. So what happens? It's like the same, like HPL project. You have 2 projects to do, before and after. You have a team. You have to delegate the team, work through the team. Here, one factor is that you will have even senior members coming in and pitching as advisors to you. 2 or 3 of them. So this distinguished Toastmaster project, when you are starting to plan for that 25th wedding anniversary, that plan, first plan, putting on the paper and a pen, that is your first project. After that, when you reflect with a cup of chai with your wife or family members, kya mazedar program tha, that is your second project. So distinguished Toastmaster project, it can be taken anything under the sky, but we tend to give it a bigger one. Yes, Vijaya ma'am, you had something.
Yeah, for that HPL, I just want to share with people for my HPL project. What I had done was I had taken the project of forming the trust that I have that works for children with special needs.
Oh, wow.
So how I formed that team, how we prepared an MOU, what was the memorandum that points that we put in, how we approached the charity commissioner, how much time it took. All these things became an HPL project.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I'll agree. Thank you, Vijaya ma'am. That is what exactly happens when you are doing that HPL or a distinguished Toastmaster project. Okay. You can do anything, that how, why, when, what, all the questions are being answered. Your final project delivered, and mind you, everything has to be be comprised in that 5 to 7 minutes. Just because it's a project of a distinguished Toastmaster or a higher level project, you can't cross your time. So make sure that you're ready with your questions and answers, everything encompassed in the 5 to 7 minutes. You won't believe, when I gave my first in the pathways, when I gave my distinguished Toastmaster project, my second project overran the time by 3.5 minutes. That was a huge deal, and my mentor requested me to give the project again, and I did it. Because until and unless you bring it down and keep the time element in your factor, you're not doing it a justice. So make sure that you have your own self-paced program ready, and this is what happens with the educational part of it. Now, doing to the club leadership. Everybody says, oh Papa, I don't want to take the pressure, but you won't believe in the next slide what you're going to improve. I'll bring it down across. Here you have to serve as a club officer for anyone, that is 12-month term, or any 2 roles for 6 months each. That brings the total to 12 months, and you are ticked off here. This is the second thing you have to do. Now, the third is district leadership. Here, you have to serve as a district officer for more than 12 months, and this is marked as 12 months. Of course, here what happened is that sometimes club coach is considered, if you are reviving a club which is in difficulty, sometimes this club coach, some years they give the leeway as a district leadership to push the DTMs to do it more quickly also, and to make a club successful again. That is also, there are so many factors which because of that gets fulfilled. So some years they do that. Watch out, follow your area directorship, and if you want to not do the area directorship as a district leadership or a division directorship as a district leadership, then you can take sometimes as a club coach. That is also, once the TI Toastmasters International has to bring the memorandum. So make sure that you follow through that. Now, club extension, that is very important, is your club sponsor. You have to do it either a speech card program or a youth leadership program. Okay, youth leadership program, of course, again, it's a whole new ball game. So youth leadership program, you can do it in 6 to 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. The speech card program, you can do it from 4 to 8 weeks. So this is these 8 sessions, sorry, 8 sessions. So these two actually are best way to finish this club extension idea. Because club sponsors, sometimes if it's a new club, only then you will get an opportunity to serve as a club of sponsor. So you cannot wait for the people to give you, because club sponsor, that role is much coveted role. So until and unless you know somebody, you cannot take up this. Better you, as soon as the term opens, like September or October, August, September, you come up to your VPE and say, I want to do a speech card program for the club. It has multifold advantages, and you fulfill this. Youth leadership program, multifold advantage, and you fulfill this. So this can be a very useful scenario. Now, club support, you have to be either a club mentor or a club coach. Again, too much coveted, but I would suggest you to take the club coach. Why? Because many clubs are in trouble. Every district will have about 30 to 40 clubs which are not working, and only per se 9 members or 8 members, and you get to revive that club for 1 year. So club coach, of course, all these I have a more detailed manner. If you want, maybe next time if I come in, I'll be able to guide you through each and everything, because I worked with more than 16 speechcraft programs. I worked with more than 20 youth leadership programs. I am a club mentor for more than 3 clubs. I worked as a club coach for more than 2 clubs. So I have a know-how of how to go across this. So this is the club support. Now here, after you have fulfilled all these, your application is submitted with the dates, and here the base camp manager has to approve by then only it is possible. Then you get that distinguished Toastmaster award. Now, why? This is a very important slide, dear friends. It is something which I just happened through once, and I would love to make you understand why. The question of why you want to take this. All focus on the skills gained. Absolutely. What happens with club leadership? These are the skills. You get to improve your leadership opportunities, your decision making skills, your collaboration, your thought process. Why itna magazmari kyun karne ka hai? Why should I go into the leadership? Yaar, nahi karna mujhe. But look at the missed opportunity you're having, right? So this is exactly where your skills are improved. Now, when you are doing a YLP or a speechcraft program, what happens? Your mentorship training actually expands like anything, because you are mentoring some other new members. You are mentoring other new children. So make sure that you take this opportunity. And it's a thoroughly enjoyable program. Haste Khelte. It's something very similar to a kitty program. Every female wants to be a part of a kitty, where you get to get decked up nicely, get dressed, have good food. And it's something very similar to that. You have to have a plan, an agenda, you make it fun, you have an interaction, networking, you have so much of opportunity to be part of other people's lives, and then give them that added value. So that happens, and you will have a lot of feedback, because senior members come in, give you, and you have, that's what I'm telling you, constructive criticism is sometimes some seniors give you that. So make sure that you take that as one of your leeways to expand and learn more. Now, skills gained in district leadership, what happens? Very, very difficult. Trust me when I say this. I have been a district leader twice over, one as an area director and one as a division director. It was a tedious task, but it helped. Now the people who are doing it by being a, like, breadwinner, oh god, how they do it, I don't know. I was a homemaker and I did it, but that was something which, I have to thank my husband, because he was throughout with me for 1 year and he helped me through so many things. So that is what is high level leadership. When you get to command few things, when you get to understand that, yes, my words matter, my thought matters, and people are listening to me, that there is nothing more powerful than that. Because you get to make few things in your life, make few decisions in your life. So make sure that you take this opportunity. If it comes, grab it with both hands. Now here, I like that project driven environment, that word I like, because everything is there will be a something stipulated thing already predetermined and defined by the TI. You have to follow through that. So that even, there is something called a club assessment we do, that we have to visit as an area director. I think Vijaya ma'am, you'll relate. We have to, go to different clubs, talk to the people, and then submit a report to TI. When even when that happens, you have about 40 to 50 questions to answer, and that gives you the fun to put your words across and inform them. I don't know how many people read it, again question mark, whether the district leader reads it or TI reads it, we don't know that. Or ये अपना program है, right? Toastmasters is what for you it is, not for somebody else. So when you sit and answer that question, you feel so excited to complain, okay, this club was good, this club was not good. So this is a driven program, and this gives you a more of decision making responsibilities. Now what happens taking the coach, mentor, or a sponsorship deal? Again, team. Your team, the caliber of team collaboration and working with a team, it improves like anything. Because this, without a team you cannot do this job. And team means you have to argue, you have to fight, you have to smile, you have to have coffee days, you have to have so many things. And then by the end of it, you will get to, answer this question. So definitely it's something which you will. Now education part, these we know that it's, what you want to direct yourself, your self learning, your self paced learning, and small aspects, small tidbits, like a small organizing a smaller thing or a bigger thing, all that comes here. Now of course, distinguished Toastmaster award, which gives you the communication and leadership pinnacle, a very nice gold plaque saying that you're a distinguished Toastmaster, a nice pin. But what that pin value holds is that you are defining yourself as a more happier person. I did it. That profound statement, when it comes across, I think probably that is the most sentence you take away from a distinguished Toastmaster award. You are no longer, my husband's name is Uday Kumar. I was no longer a Mrs. Uday Kumar. I was Anupama Kasi Bhatla. And when I get to sign my name, it gives a profound satisfaction. Of course, there are many professional women who are here who gives you that, who tend to experience that. But even this, because this is absolutely a philanthropical work where you get to do service to the people. And I think probably there is no more profound sense of achievement than seeing the other person coming up and saying that, oh, this helped me a lot. So this is what happens here. So this is all about, distinguished Toastmasters and in pathways. Now we have why I have specifically brought this in, because every member, all of you have to understand what exactly is a base camp manager. And he or she is a VPE, then the president. These are the basic responsibilities, because it's multifolded. They get to work a lot. They get to understand, chart, and define the members. And these are the various level of requests and the completion projects, the all that has to be marked by the base camp. Now, when I will be passing on this presentation to Vijaya ma'am, definitely I know she'll be putting across to all of you. You can go it, and it's self-explanatory. You can go it at detail, because I'm sure I am pushing the time here. It's already 40 minutes. Now, this is the way generally, you go into the base camp, and BPE gets to, answer through pending requests. Member progress can be measured here. Every member where exactly he or she is. Actually, this is a one look and you know everything. So this helps them to give the opportunity to the members who wants to progress more and less and all that. And the tutorials are present here. Now, these are the few, slides which absolutely take you across in verifying the level completion, how to track the member progress, pathways progress, and your tutorials. So even though you are not part of the XCOM, I will suggest you to go across this and understand more. Now, the next one will be your resources. Resources, TI has hundreds of resources available online, hundreds. Okay, if you ask for a PPT presentation for pathways, I downloaded 20 PPT presentations in one go. It's there. It's all there on the Google. But then what you have to do is take time to sit with it, go through that. It is your leeway to do that. So just make sure that your resources are well used, because these are the resources which will help you. There are some questions like, path, where can I take pathways, how can I take it, which one will help, all that questions. You just have to click that when can I start, and it takes you across in a journey. Now, the next one is that, you have FAQ, that is, facts present there. All the question answers are there with the answers. Of course, you can discuss among your peer group for members as well as your XCOM, and that will give you a more defined way of understanding and getting the answers for your questions. Now, tutorials and resources are absolutely available. Again, you have so much of information with one click of in the search. You click that particular topic and you have the answers there. So resources, why I am stressing is that is something which we all neglect. That क्यों नहीं करते हैं, क्यों करने का मतलब, I know everything, or okay, it is there, I'll see it later. But please take time, because tutorials and resources are which will help you to get that small questions answered in a more easier manner. Now, this is what your, how to navigate your transcript, education's transcript, your feedback. You can, post it back on the net and keep it as a record. You have a lot of badges coming your way, and then you have speech evaluations. You can upload and keep it for your reference. It helps. Then you have, all this is again the Basecamp manager's profile page, and this is a quick reference guide. Now, this is what these 4 amazing Toastmasters had to say about how and why and what has answered. Now, there is this Kate Arnold, she had written, technical and very complicated for most people, very boring. I would often see them glaze, and when I'm talking, I'm so grateful for pathways. See, that is what happens. Like when you are not doing it on your self way, right? So when it was, the time for you to understand, you did not take that opportunity, and somehow you lost the track of and giving that term called it's not up for me and all. But pathways actually gives you a guided and a very chronological step-by-step process of elevating yourself. Again, it is assessment before to assessment after. It is as simple as that. And you get to do that. Now, where will pathways take you, my dear ladies and gents who have joined us? This is for you to understand where does it want to lead and what you want to achieve by pathways. I'll just stop the share, the questions, absolutely at your service. Farida ma'am, I'm looking for a good question from you. Yes, ma'am.
It's so wonderful to listen to people giving these presentations, because first of all, I have to tell you, you're a very inspiring speaker.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
very,
so much.
very inspiring, and you're so passionate about what you do. I'm just so disappointed that we have less people attending this presentation. And I know Swapnil has sent out so many reminders. I think they must have been going around like chirpy birds around his head, getting them across. What I loved is your explanation of each of the 5 levels, which has not been explained before as beneficial to pathways. Okay, I'm an old crony sitting over here. All right, I've heard this presentation at least 11 times. Okay, at least 11 times. But I have to say, you have broken the record, Anupama.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I seriously want to thank whoever has brought you here today to give us this presentation. All right, it's mind-blowing. I would love to have you repeat it again, or Swapnil, if you, I've seen you recording it. If we could invite groups of our Toastmasters, especially the ones that are joining now, because no matter how much the VP Ed would explain, or no matter, even if I would explain, it needs to have you sitting down and listening and asking questions, okay? And by the way, Anupama, do give my fondest regards to Sunny, okay? If you meet.
Oh, thank you. Sure, ma'am. Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
Tell him the old crony was listening to your presentation.
Thank
Don't
you.
give him my name, okay? All right.
Okay.
Thank you very, very much, Anupama.
Thank you.
From the bottom
Thank you.
of my heart.
I think he does, Farida, madam. He
Vijaya,
does, he does.
thank you for arranging it.
No,
okay?
no, Sunny does remember you, because couple of times he has mentioned your name.
Yes,
Regarding the
Bhardwaj, sir.
DTM, yeah, DTM thing. So you said that instead of taking district level this thing, you can actually go for mentor. I think district
Coach.
coach or
Yeah,
something
club
like that
coach.
can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it that you need to do twice, or is it like you do because it's
No.
there in
No, actually, club coach as a district post, the announcement has to come from TI, which generally happens in the month of August. You know, if that year they find that, you know, there are many clubs which need help, they will announce it that we are taking club coach as a district role. So whoever wants to do that, please come forward and apply.
Okay.
And this particular message definitely will be put across in a hierarchy level. The district leaders get that question, that mail, and then district leader passes on to the district division directors to area directors, and then it comes to the clubs. When you hear that, immediately contact whoever is responsible, like the next level of hierarchy, like your area director or a division director, and approach them and say that please assign me any club. I would love to, you know, coach that club to see. When a club needs a club coach is when they have 8 members only. Okay. Yeah. And there are less than 12 members, less than 11 members. And you know, it has not been performing well with the DCP goals and all that. So it takes a lot of effort from you to work with that club, because you have very little and limited resources. Yes, Swapnil, you had something to.
Yeah, actually, for that also we are organizing a training, club coach training on
Very nice.
27th of
There, then that is
coach
it will be from the
on the 27th of
yes
August.
Yeah, and for that I think we will share the details again in our group.
Yes. So that actually, when you get that opportunity, Bharadwaj sir, what happens is that there are only few area directors as a district role, right? So how do you get that if you want to, you know, run through your level of going across to becoming a distinguished Toastmaster? How do you do it? This is when this club coach comes in. But it is not announced every year, mind you. Not every year. Some, like last 2 years, we had the opportunity. So what we did at District 116 was that we had given a lot of the people who needed that credit to push through for the Distinguished Toastmaster Award, and they became the coaches and taken that as a district role.
Yeah.
So that is a very good idea. So you can work through that. And club coach, of course, it requires a lot of energy, because you have as I said, very limited resources to work with the club. But then it helps. It gives you a lot of leeway to play, and give you. And so if you fail, it's fine. You worked your hard, you worked it. It didn't work it. But sometimes, at least 80% of the time, where I have seen, especially in District 116, that we have cleared more than, every year we got about 40 to 50 people who are getting the credit for the club coach. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Anything else? I can be reached at the mobile number. I'll be putting across on the chat.
Anupama, can I just request you
Yes, ma'am.
show them a demo of how they go and launch their project on the pathways, on the base camp?
Okay. On the base camp, I think I'll have
for example, if I have finished level 1, how do I go and launch it? Okay, I know that most of you are not aware how to go about with that, navigating their project to the level 1 completion.
Let me just, maybe, I can, okay, I will go to the base camp and give me.
Just show them that.
Just a minute, ma'am. Give me 1 minute. I'll just log in.
Because what is happening is they are completing their project and they're just sitting tight saying, Mera ek project ho gaya. But they don't know that they have to launch it in their base camp, which again goes to the VP Education to approve it.
Okay, let me just explain, everyone.
Yeah.
I'll share the screen. Is it all right, Swapna?
Yeah. Just share the screen so that they would know how to do it.
I hope I can help you here. Okay, so this is my portal. Okay, now I want to work. See, this is one thing which I would love to tell everyone, is that access my path through Basecamp. Okay, if you are a multi-club personality, like I'm a member of so many clubs. Okay, so when you are part of these clubs, if you want to give your credit to one club, suppose I'm working Royal Qatar Toastmasters needs my level. Okay, so what I do, I choose this. Okay, be very careful, especially to the people who are part of 1 or 2 clubs. So kya hota hai na ki when you are stuck here at Zeal Toastmasters Club, you are working through your base camp, that level 1 credit goes to Zeal. So this is a very important aspect you have to understand. And then the Royal Toastmasters say that, Anupama, you submitted it, we did not get it. Where did it go? It will go to the other club which you have already mentioned here. So this is a very important choice you have to do, select your club. Now here through Royal Qatar, because now right now I'm working with Royal Qatar, I'll go to the base camp. Okay, if everybody can see the shift of the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is my profile. Okay, now pathways, you can go through, because this right now leadership development is open for me because I'm doing my fourth level. So now 4th pathway. Now when I open the curriculum here, I'll just open. Yeah, see, I have done my icebreaker evaluation. Now I launch it. Okay, first you have to launch your icebreaker. Then, okay, suppose this one, let me take to a level which I have not done. Okay, see, this one I have not done. Okay, now planning and implementing is in the level 3. Like you have to activate it first. I press activate. Right, now then comes launch. When I'm launching it, this will take me across to another window, which will launch the requirements of the project. Can everybody can see that another window, or you are still at the
it is still moving.
Okay, it's still moving. Okay, you can see that. Okay, just give me a couple of seconds. I think it'll open now. This takes a bit because it has to choose and put you across to that place where you are. Yes. See, now this is the planning and implementing level 3 project, which I have to start. I have not done this project in the fourth path. Now I click begin. As I said, there are so many things when I pop this up, you have so many things you can do in that project. First is the introduction. Now you need not choose from here because I would love to go in a chronological manner. Introduction, then I go across to this, what is the assignment? You check your project list, right? And what are the requirements for this? Again, there is another window which will open and it will give you the list of the projects. You can see, everybody can see the evaluation. Sheet sort of a thing. Yeah. So here, the project, what does the project entail? The description is given here. Developing and implementing a plan, project plan resource, event planning worksheet, project completion form. First project is 2 to 3 minutes and the second project is 5 to 7 minutes. Now, before this, these are the things you need to answer. Now, again, my dear boys and girls, what I am saying is that take time to write this for yourself. Nobody checks. Even if I don't mark anything and I just click, maine mark kar diya in the end, I have done the project. Nobody will come and say, show me your proof. Actually, nobody asks in Toastmasters. But what happens is that you're here to learn, right? Until and unless you go through each and every question and answer, why will you do it? What is the purpose of doing it? So this is the checklist you need to follow through. Now, when I go back to the assignment, after the checklist, I read the whole purpose here, overview here, then I go assessment before. All of you are aware that I am able to set and achieve clear goals. Okay, I mark myself as 4. I'm able to take stock of necessary resources. I'm still finding my way through it. I mark myself as 3. I'm not happy there. Next, I'm able to create an effective project schedule. Yes, this I can do. Still, I'll give it a 3. Now I am able to identify potential risks. Yes, to some extent. Very simple questions you mark. I'm able to delegate tasks. Yes, I'm a leader. I can do that. Now I recognize how this project applies to my life outside. Definitely, I understand. Now, but there is this one point I need to improve. Can I do it in this project? That is a question. So you get a feedback, affirmation like this, then you move across to the next one. Okay, now here, see the list of competencies, what you are going to achieve in this project. Read through it. Because until and unless you really read through these lines, you will not understand what you're looking forward to this particular project, right? So this is way, and project initiation, how to go about every single aspect you have to go through. Now, this here again, your plan, your project plan, your how to view it, how to define it, all this is individually. You can, what happened in the 7 or 8 weeks of project planning? This is some sort of a task bar, which will tell you. This is called Gantt chart. It's just a sample, but then, it will help you to guide across. Now, project planning, you have resources. Again, as I said, the video. Don't hesitate to watch the video. Then you have project implementation, assemble your team, the teamwork, everything is a guided manner you'll go through. Now, having said this, here is the main page for your evaluation. Your evaluation resources there, your project you can print out, your project plan, your planning worksheet, your project completion form. Now, when you are finishing that, you will get this assessment. You're assessing your skills after you have done the project. Now, suppose I go through this, sorry, I have not marked it, but then you will get congratulations, you have completed this project. Now, when this congratulation message, oh God, I have to do the project. I have not done this project and I have marked it anyway. So I'll just go across just to give you a more precise information. Just a minute, everyone. Okay, so that is the point where you will have that you have completed the project. Now, after that, the tick will come. I'll show you the tick. Here, the tick will come. I think it's not updated yet. Okay, not done. This, if you can see my arrow, like, yeah, the tick like this will come.
You can't see
After
that.
you can't see it, ma'am?
Yeah, it's not shared.
Okay, sorry. I'll just share it for you. Sorry. Yeah. See this icebreaker ka tick? Evaluation and feedback ka tick, this tick will come. Now, once you have ticked all that, suppose level 1 may, I have ticked this icebreaker, evaluation, research and presentation, then level 1 completion, I have to tick. Yahan again, launch aayega, then you will have to tick. What happens is that this particular message will go to your vice president education. See, you can see it on the screen. Use this research to help you through the process of requesting that your vice president education approve your completion of level 1 of leadership development. Now, vice president, when they will get this, the vice president will get that member pending request, may your name goes in. Okay, this person has completed level 1. Now it is the priority of the vice president to come and check at least once. Are you sure you have done it? Yes. Okay, so I accept it. When that is done, that level 1 completion is shared on the dashboard, saying that so and so, suppose Vijaya ma'am has done it. So Vijaya ma'am will give that okay, she got the credit for the level 1. So this is the process where the level 1s are marked. 4 level 1s, 1 DCP goal. 2 level 2s, 1 DCP goal. 2 level 3s, 1 DCP goal. 1 level 4, 1 DCP goal. 1 level 5, 1 DCP goal. So now the vice president has to chart out which members are ready for these DCP goals. So this is the way it happens. Ma'am, I hope, Vijaya ma'am, I showed you good. Yeah, okay. So you have to tick, launch, everything you have to do, wait for the tick mark to come and then proceed accordingly to that next level. That is how the things roll in pathways. Yes, Vijaya ma'am, thank you for that question. Anybody or anything else?
This is your chance to ask whatever you want to ask members.
Yeah,
please make the best use of this opportunity.
It was fun. It was absolutely my delight to be part of it. If you have no question.
Yes,
Yeah,
I've got a question, DTM Anupama. Maybe it's a question to anybody here. Like sometimes when a member finds an error in the pathways and he has to report it, how does he go about it?
Anybody wants to take this answer, ma'am? Vijaya ma'am, you want to take that answer?
See, it depends upon what kind of an error it is. First thing. Number 1 is, the error could be that he could have chosen a wrong launch and not the one which he has done. So that is one thing he has to double check it. Second is, what you could do is you could write an email. If none of these things work, he has launched it properly, he has submitted the project, everything, still he is getting an error, then he has to write to Toastmasters pathways thing, saying that I have launched this project on so-and-so date at so-and-so time, and it has been completed, but it is an error. Then they immediately respond to it saying that we would correct it.
Okay. So, can the vice president education write on the behalf of the member too?
Better if the vice president also seconds the error.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah, and Jai Bhargava sir, I will tell you here one thing, that you get in touch with TI as a member. You don't have to wait for a VPE to approve that. Because it's your learning, right? You have a query. If you have a query, go and trust me, TI responds to you in a couple of days. There is no doubt. Any query, they will respond to you immediately. They have a very sophisticated and a very very eligible team there, and they help you with that question. Somebody will get in contact with you. Okay, this is the thing. And sometimes what happens is that sometimes your pathways get stuck. There was a case in one of the members here that pathways got stuck. He could not launch. He could not do anything. So something they did from there, and they jump started it again for the member. So there are so many things, get solved. So if you have a query, write a nice letter to TI. This gives you an experience to interact with, TI directly.
Yes.
You have
and
to write to, Jay,
help.
you have to write to education program at toastmasters.org.
Okay, I'll do that.
And you
Thank
can
you.
see, you can CC it to one of the ExCom members like president or VPE. That will help them to keep them in the loop. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
Education program at toastmasters.org.
Thank you.
Yes. So if there are no questions, thank you very much for the opportunity again. I know that I hope I had a lovely afternoon with all of you, and I really hope I can be of further help. And Vijaya ma'am, my sincere regards for bringing me onto the screen for this amazing and eminent leaders. And I hope that I have given some insight.
There are no second thoughts about it, Anupama, because I'm a person who stands for quality and not quantity right from the beginning. In fact, in Doha, there is a saying that if you don't do it, Vijaya will put a gun to your head. That's not true. But frankly speaking, it is now my pleasure to invite our division director, Toastmaster Swapnil, to acknowledge this session and place his comments as well as say a few words to what this whole thing has been all about. So Toastmaster Swapnil.
Thank you so much. And I really would like to appreciate and thanks a lot to our Anupama ma'am. I wish I could meet you earlier, in my Toastmasters journey, and I could hear you more. But nonetheless, thank you so much, Vijaya, for bringing her into the Division F session, Learn to Excel series. And this is the first session that is part 2 pathways, and I think we have done it in just 4-5 days. We had a query from Jaya Bharadwaj, and then we planned for the division level. I hope it is really helpful for the members. Wish we could have more members, as Farida said, but I think we are going to call you again in the future. It was one of the eloquent, energetic, detailed session which I have ever attended. Thank you so much, Anupama. From the Division F, I would like to appreciate your efforts and your presence today. I think you can see my screen.
Yes, thank you so much. That's lovely. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And you spoke for 1.5 hours, but we were like, throughout we were engaged, and we were like, okay, we would like to hear again. We would like to hear more. That was our feeling for the session, and all the members engrossed into the session. There were around 20-25 members, and most of them, they were till end of the session. You also had very nice answers to the questions as well. Thank you so much. And we would like to have you in the next series of the sessions as well. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Over to you, Vijaya.
Swapnil and Anupama, a special thanks from me, having landed in Jeddah just this morning and then to take a session in the evening. I think we District 125 are highly obliged. I personally am highly obliged to this, and I am proud, and I take pride in saying this because she comes from a club of which I was a founder, and that foundation shows. So thank you so much for obliging us today, Anupama, and please be obliging even in future whenever we ask you something. So with that, thank you once again.
Thank you. Let's click a picture. I request